All right. Welcome to today's weekly meeting. It is June 14th. And today we're going to get on the chart, but we're going to tap into just a little bit of psychology beforehand. And Kenya has graciously volunteered.
I was voluntold.
Kenya has graciously volunteered or told um, we just gonna dig a little deep, just a little bit. I don't, I said I'm gonna get in her personal business just a little bit, but it's only gonna be but so much. Don't be afraid, Kenya.
It's
Don't be
cool.
afraid.
I'm good.
So, so I did a poll yesterday on your struggles of trading. That's why I said for Andre, don't, because he's fairly new to trading, so
Mhm.
it wouldn't have worked.
Mhm.
Um, and the poll, the result, the highest result was entries and exits, and then next there was sticking to your trading plan and strategy. And then the responses were one was can you mention discipline, um, time, entries and exits, and trading strategy, learning what to trade and what time to trade. So I kind of wanted to get in because all of that really falls under discipline, right? So my question to you, Kenya, is when you say discipline, what exactly do you mean by the discipline? What part?
Sure.
What part?
So the part that I'm struggling with the most is I've mapped out a strategy, a trading plan. All of it is, rooted in market structure, concept, all the things, right? Everything we've been learning for the past like 4 years. Where
Mhm.
I struggle is actually sticking to my rules and not breaking them. So one example is I might catch 100 pips on a Sunday night, okay? And the goal is 100 pips a week. Uh-oh.
Mm. Uh-oh,
I hear an echo.
hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I didn't mean to admit. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So the goal is, 100 pips a week, or that's kind of like what my trading plan, okay, is
Yep.
100 pips a week. And I might catch that 100 pips early. Well, now it's like, what? I still have like 5 days in the week. So it feels like if I get done too early, now I'm immediately going to break a rule. That is, you should be done for the week. You had a win. You're good. You met your goal.
Mm.
But it's like my goal will shift depending on how quickly I meet my goal. So I don't know if I need to adjust my rule or just keep doing what I'm doing. But then I'll take that second or third or fourth trade of the week, and that's the one that I end up in a hedge, and then I spend the rest of my time fighting back.
Fighting it.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so that's kind of I know I broke my rule, and that's why I ended up in that situation. But that's what I was just answering your question, like, what is your struggle? It's not even so much the information. I feel like we spent a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time there. It's sticking to the rules, not breaking my own rules that I set for myself as safety nets.
So, what do you think you need to do to your
That's a
rule?
great question. Todd said eat boiled chicken and broccoli, and that's not happening.
Okay, no,
Um,
don't do that. Is there
but
anything?
I don't know. I was kind of like, yeah, I was tossing ideas around yesterday. Like, what if there was like some kind of discipline support group, some kind of accountability group where we're actually honest with each other when
Yeah.
we break each other's rules? Like, I don't know how to fix it. And I know it's not something that can be taught, right? This is really like a personal problem. But I was just sharing.
So, what do you think? What is it something that you outside of trading and your kids love to do that could be a like if you stick by your rules, you get a reward. If you don't stick by your rules, then you have to punish yourself. Like what would that punishment be for you?
I don't really do punishment. I don't know.
You need a punishment.
I probably do. That's why Todd was saying chicken and broccoli, and I was like, no, I'm not signing up for that.
No, it's got to be something that you have to take away from yourself that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I don't know, Kim. I don't know. I don't even know that I'm disciplined enough to do that. Like I'm going to rebel against myself and be like, no, I'm not
So
not doing that.
you just stubborn.
Yeah, and so it's like I know this is very much so a me problem, but I was sharing. I was being transparent.
Okay. So that's the first thing I would recommend that you figure out something that you would have to
Punish
punish
myself.
yourself with that is rewarding to you already.
Okay. Okay. I'll
Not
think about it.
chicken and broccoli is not rewarding to you. So of
It's
course,
not.
so I recommend, you know,
Okay. I'll think about it. I'll spend some thought there.
okay. So now my question to you is when you take the loss, do you know and understand why you take the loss?
9 times out of 10 is because I broke a rule. Whether that's grabbing the knife while it's falling and not waiting for my structure to show up on that lower time frame to then
Uh,
enter.
Okay.
Or it's over trading. But 9 times out of 10 is because I broke one of my own rules that I at some point learned that will get you burnt. Don't do that. And
Yes.
I created a rule. And then when I break those types of rules, or like going into the US 30 after a winning week, what are you do? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like I'll give back my winnings. So there's a lot of times where I'll have like a break even week when really I was up, but
Mm.
then I brought myself back to start.
So you need to once you do your win, once you get a win, you have my phone number. You can text me because I will be texting you like, what you doing?
I
What you
mean,
doing today?
La- Latasha and I used to do that, but we kind of I don't know if we kind of like took a minute to just kind of like regroup, but we were supposed to be each other's accountability partners, but
Uh-huh.
I'm just not. I don't think I'm a good one, and I don't know if anybody can motivate me other than me. So that's kind of where I am.
So I think you need to drop your profits in the chat.
That's oh.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. Drop your profits in the chat because look, the 100 group, they don't do it, but they're supposed to be dropping their profits at
You're
the end
right.
of the
You're
week.
right. We're not doing what we're breaking rules.
Yeah, now I'm not doing it, but Todd is y'all stepdaddy, so I can't, I can't tell Todd what to do in his group. Okay, so I'm just saying that was the whole purpose of saying to drop your profits or your P&L at the end of the week because, and that's why I say don't drop a cutout of your P&L or a win or because I already know what that means. That means you trying to show me, not trying to show me something that you should be showing me,
Right.
right? So it's only making you accountable for your trades.
I
So
hear you.
you can
And
drop.
I'm reading the chat. It's a lot of feedback in here.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Oh, oh, shoot.
Going to demo
Okay.
after reaching the 100 pips, like that's a great tip.
Yeah, Kenya, that was me. I was thinking like if you still feel the need to want to be on the chart and just learn and see where your idea went, I think switching to demo to still get that, that feeling of trading could be helpful in that way. If you win, you take a note of it. If you lose, there's no loss, but a lesson.
Absolutely. I completely agree. The problem I have, and again, going back, this is a personal problem, is that that's part of the rules, right? That's the after you win, get on demo. And then I still be like,
Okay.
oh, but this trade is fire. This setup is it. This is a grade A setup. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna flip my account twice this week. I'm gonna flip my account 3 times this week. And it's like it's greed. It's also greed.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I recognize the problems. It's just actually not, going back doing the same things over and over. It's been my struggle. Yeah.
Andre say give him $100 every time you break your rules.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Give us some money.
I was gonna say that's a real punishment for real.
I was gonna suggest something too, though. I think even doing a demo account may even feed the beast as far as the greed thing, because if you're right, it's like, man, I missed out. So I think FOMO is the problem, right? So why not just walking away from it completely after you win? Don't even get on to try to. And I know that goes into the antithesis of like marking up charts and being ingratiated with the market, but just to kind of quell and start that discipline train is to disconnect completely from once you get your win to sign off completely. Don't even get back into it.
Or find some other activity, like somebody said, go to the gym or do something with your
Oh,
kids.
is that what the gym comment was? Because I gotta go to the gym and maybe that's where I need to spend my time.
And somebody, wait a minute, hold on. Where was it? Change your relationship with money. Um, so, and I'm gonna say this because I think Kenya is probably in the same boat that I am. Um, with regards to changing your relationship with money, I won't even I won't even part my lips to tell you how much money I've lost in trading. I can't even part my lips. I can't even. Ooh, but just thinking about it just makes me cringe, right? But I know that y'all know I work a full-time job and I make very good money at that full-time job. So the loss of what I lost, the amount of money that I've lost is, I think merely because, let me just say this. If I wasn't making the money that I'm making now with my job, I would be hurt. Okay. I would be hurt with the amount of money that I've lost. I'd probably be out on the street. I probably would have lost my house. I probably would have lost, like all of that. But, and I think Kenya is probably in the same boat with me, Kenya, if I'm correct. Um,
Look, let's not put numbers on it, Kim,
I'm
but
not gonna
yes,
put
very
numbers on it.
relatable.
I'm not gonna put I'm not gonna put numbers on it,
It's
but
been a 4-year journey.
yeah,
Journey.
yeah. So I definitely agree that my relationship with money has gotten better. Um, and I don't know if it's because I've gotten better with trading. But my friends will tell you like you making money and you the cheapest person. But when I wasn't making this all this money in trading, you know, I I'm treating everybody, okay? But now that doesn't happen, which is so weird to me. But definitely your relationship with money is definitely key. So you suffer from FOMO. Okay. Okay, Kenya, hold on. Let me ask you one more, or maybe a couple more. Um, so you always set a hedge or do you set stop losses?
It's always a hedge.
It's always a hedge. Okay. Um, and when your hedge hits, and I think I've pretty much asked you this already, but when your hedge is activated, do you then look at is part of your trading plan is to then fully look at market structure to see if it's worth staying in the hedge or taking a loss, or setting, and I hate this is the part I hate about hedging. Um, Setting another entry based off of market structure.
That's one option. I'm only gonna take the loss on the hedge if I give up. So when I max out on psychology and I feel defeated and my brain is scrambled and I'm doing things that I know I'm not supposed to do, I might just cut the whole loss. I might just cut it. But what I actually strive to do is if it's still a valid trade and a good trade idea, and I think like right now I'm in a USD CAD hedge. I was trying to buy it. It bought a little bit, but then eventually throughout the week, it eventually picked up my hedge. I use proper risk management, so I'm not in panic mode. And I had to make the hard decision to hold this hedge over the weekend and pay the fees. In
Mm-hmm.
the meantime, I caught an EN trade and kind of basically built up my balance to kind of cover the hedge, if you will. That way, I'm not necessarily married to the idea of getting out of this hedge in profit per se, as much as make up the difference and then close out of everything. So I'll either do those, or if my hedge picks up while I'm sleeping, or whenever, then I'll look for market structure to see if I can re-enter the trade with a better entry, and then I have to choose whether I want to close my hedge and just take both positions in the original direction. Do I want to switch my bias because of my market structure and go in the direction of my hedge and close my original position? That's when I have to start making those types of decisions. But in a perfect world, it would be the hedge would pick up, market structure would show itself, and then I would find another entry and basically take a second trade on that same trade, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then make the profits.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things that I hear, and not just with you or that I see, um, is once you so I personally feel like if you're in a trade, you should definitely be in
Hmm.
that one trade only. Um, until you get into profit or until structure identifies where you can get into another trade. Um, I have seen where, someone has been in a trade or been in a hedge, and like I said, not you, I'm not talking about you directly. I've seen where someone has been in a hedge and they keep putting in entries, which one, I don't understand why, but it's causing you to over leverage
Hmm.
your account. Um, but then they're not only putting in one entry, they're putting in another entry, or they see something else happen and they put in another entry. So then you get margin call. So my advice to those who are in drawdown, I'm just going to say drawdown, whether it's a hedge or, because if you're in a hedge, you're already in two entries, right? If you are in drawdown or in a hedge, my advice is to let any of them play out. Because if you're in a hedge, you should be so if you're in like a 30 pip hedge, is a 30 pip difference. And depending on what your lot size is, that your P&L shouldn't change, but so much. So my advice is to allow whatever to play out, whether it's the hedge plays out to based off of structure, or allow the hedge to come back to entry. And I know that's hard because you want to be in more trades, but if you're only in those two trades, you can't lose. I'm gonna say I'm saying you can't lose your account. But if you put in more entries, then at that point, if you're not trading in the right direction, you will lose your account or blow your account. So, like I said, that wasn't for Kenya. I know Kenya knows how to hedge. Um, that was for anybody that felt like it was for them. Okay. Um,
Excuse me, Kim.
uh-huh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I didn't know if you saw my question on
I'm
the
just reading
side.
it. I'm just reading it.
'Cause I've never hedged before. And so I would like listen to different people say that they hedge. And I was like, well, is your hedge your stop loss? Do you have another stop loss? I don't know if that's something I personally need to do, but I mean, it seems like people are successful. So that's why I just asked how
Okay.
you guys do that.
So I'm gonna go over in just a few minutes the trade that Kenya just mentioned, the USD CAD. She said that
Hmm.
she was in a hedge in. So give me a minute and I'll explain it. But yes, it is essentially um, instead of setting a stop loss, you're setting the hedge, and if price goes in the opposite direction, then your account should be the difference of that hedge. So if you have a um stop, I'll explain it once I get to
Okay.
Kenya's USD CAD.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. Okay. Um, okay. Kenya, that's it. That's all I got for you today.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. I
Yeah.
mean, I did kind of bare my soul a little bit, but it's all good.
No, no, no. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No
Okay,
problem.
so now I'm going to go into um the trade Kenya was talking about, which is USD CAD. I'm gonna reset my chart here. And you were in your hedge were you buying or selling?
I'm buying it. So if you go to the 2 month,
Oh, okay. Okay. Wait a minute, hold on. I had some rules for today. We ain't going to the
wait, no, but since we're
Okay.
talking about USDK, I just wanted to show you where the
Okay.
trade idea came from, and then we'll walk it back down to the weekly.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
there's a 2 month bearish order block.
uh-huh.
Not you're ignoring this current candle
Right. This
because
one
we're
right
still
here.
in it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I'm playing off of. That's what's all marked up, 50% whoop de whoop. So if you drop down to the weekly,
So wait a minute, you were buying.
uh-huh, I'm buying the retracement. So I
Uh,
wanted it to clear the low on
Oh,
that 2 month candle.
okay.
Yep. And then turn around. Yep.
And then you go to the week.
What is this? The weekly? No, this is the monthly. Go to the weekly, yeah. All right. So you see where your pink line is, and you see how you got a bearish order block.
Mm-hmm.
That very next candle was a doji candle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very next candle was that last week?
This was last week.
Okay, so the very next candle gave a
A bearish.
bearish order block that did not close below the wick of the previous candle.
Okay.
So I was looking to buy it, and I think I got in at, hold on. I got in at 36.80, 36.85.
Okay. And what was your hedge?
My hedge picked up at 36.30.
Okay. So, and this is for everybody. Kenya was looking to buy from here, right?
Yep.
But there was a bearish order block. So now my question to you is, do you see why this wouldn't have been about shouldn't have
Go
structured.
to the daily.
Hold on, let me go back to the weekly. Let me mark up my, oh, I guess I did have it right here. I can get a, you're saying because it didn't close below, which, okay, now,
I know, Kim. I got you.
I
I
know,
got you.
I know,
I
I know,
recognize
I know.
the internal market structure. I got you. I know we didn't break the real low. I got you. But I was trying to trade the retracement, and you see, you have your bullish order block, maybe like 6 days ago.
Right here.
Yep, the little baby one.
Okay.
So,
So
your
based
first
off,
pink line was the break of structure. Your second pink line
yeah,
was my entry. Okay.
yes.
Yep. And then I just protected the wick on that daily bullish order block. And I said, if you break it, then obviously I need to be in a hedge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just trying to buy it. And it just didn't buy. Like it bought a teeny weeny bit, but it did not buy.
Now, when you look at structure, do you see what do you see what happened?
That we broke to the downside?
No, yeah, that it sold based off structure, meaning price pushed down below this low, broke below this low,
Mm-hmm.
left an imbalance and an order block.
I got you, but Kim, that would be
No,
the
no.
middle for me. So I wouldn't even be looking to sell it from there. Right? Like I wouldn't touch that for a sale. I was strictly looking for the reversal.
Okay. Okay. And I'm explaining this as an example for everybody, okay?
Okay.
So if this was going to buy, it would have at least violated this order block in my head. And that's how I'm thinking. It would have at least violated this order block, meaning price would have pushed, oops, meaning price should have pushed up. And I'm gonna go to a smaller time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour. Price should have broke here first, then pull back for the buy. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
but I think that's what she tried to do. If you look on the left, it actually broke structure, went up, and then came down
No,
for the retest.
it did not break structure
On the left,
on the
left, that little green one, I think that what might have been the indication for her to get an entry there.
no,
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 the
no,
indication
no,
was
no.
strictly the sweep of the low. It was a
That-
liquidity, it was a perceived liquidity grab. The market did push up. And Kim, to your point, it did not break and close above that area that you're talking about. It did
yeah,
push up. That
no,
wick on
it,
that daily
it
bearish
pushed up,
candle.
but it pushed into a bearish order block
Correct. And did not break above it or close above it.
and did not break above it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, because that would have been the reason. But I understand.
So now that you're in the hedge, and this is where I'm going to explain the hedge, Naima. So this was her entry. This was her possible stop loss if she was going to set a stop loss, but instead she set a hedge. So the hedge should be the same. Um, 836 entry 36300 36300. Okay. So the entry of the hedge should be the same as uh as her stop loss, what her stop loss would have been, right? So this is where hedge picked up. Now, as far have you identified from that hedge where price may be taking you? Have
No,
you identified? No.
no. I
Okay.
just left it because I wasn't ready to deal with it.
Okay. So if I'm looking at structure from the left, right now, this is structure, right? So price is probably going to hedge back to this zone right here. So I personally, I know Todd teaches about cutting your hedge and getting out on your hedge. If I'm in a hedge, I'm taking profit where I think price is going. I'm going to take this profit right here, or I'll wait for
Can
price
I
to
can I
show.
comment on
Uh-huh.
that, Kim?
Yep, yep, yep.
Because I know Naima's question was kind of on that. So, um, the only reason I wouldn't necessarily profit right there is because I still have that buy running,
No,
right? So I need my sell and my buy
no,
to
I
stay
was gonna
open.
ask that question, Kim. Are you saying you'll cut the entire trade, or you'll just cut the sale and take that profit?
I would cut the sell, the hedge sell, and take the profit. And then once I take that profit,
So you being drawdown still on that?
I'll still be in drawdown on the buy.
Okay.
And you'll wait for the buy to kind of react.
And I have already, and you can wait for the buy you can wait for the buy, you can wait for confirmation to then get out your hedge if you want to. Me, I'm taking the head, I'm taking my profit right here, right? And then I'm definitely going to go down in time in my time frame to narrow that zone down. So
After you got out of your hedge, would you re-hedge based off of? I mean, because it could still continue to.
I wouldn't rehedge, but I would, once I see that there is a shift in character, then I'm going to put in an entry for the buy. So now I'll have two buy entries in, one that's in drawdown and preferably one that's in profit.
Hmm. I follow. I just don't like to do it that way because in the instances where that drawdown buy
Hmm.
goes further in drawdown and I've already cut my sell, then I
So
start to make bad decisions because I get nervous.
So again, you can hold on to the hedge. You don't have to take the profit right here. You don't have to do what I did, okay? But you can wait until you see the shift in structure because if price is going to come here, if price is going to come here, price is going to tap in here. It's going to create some kind of structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's going to break and then it's going to pull back.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you can take your profit. And then also put in once you get this change of character right here, you know it's going to pull back. You can take your profit and you can set entry at the same time, at the same place.
Yep.
So I have a question real quick.
Hey,
Yes.
oh,
Oh,
What,
oh, sorry. Go ahead. So,
how would you position yourself? Would you do double the lot size from what you had before or the same lot size or like
I would keep the,
what and
I would keep the same lot size.
okay.
I would keep the same lot size because if it's going to,
hey, Kim. The only question I had about re-hedging is because if you got into this point, depending on the size of your account, you may be getting into margin calls if you get another uh transaction in the same
so,
direction,
so your
which is why I
hedge,
was saying.
so your hedge would have to be right here. This is where your hedge would have to be, not right here. This would have to be your hedge.
No, I guess what I'm asking is because I literally went through this same example last week,
Mm.
and because I got another entry going in the same direction, I got margin call because again, when you hedge, it frees up margin because you got two trades going in the different direction, and
Yeah.
so if you get a entry going the exact same direction, again, it may be heading that way, but if it doesn't, on any type of slippage, you could start your
So
trades could be start
so you want to
stopping out.
hear the hard truth
Yes,
that,
always.
that your entry and your hedge was probably over leveraged in the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. This is us
Mhm.
being transparent, but I was just saying that's why maybe re-hedging. I don't know if you don't necessarily believe that it's going immediately into a buy position. It may help you save that trade until you baby it back up until it's actually in
I
a.
have a question.
You can, and you can do that. That's let me just say this, and I tell Todd this all the time. It's your account. You can do whatever you want. Okay? But I'm just saying what I do. when I hedge. I'm going to take my profit down here. But because I'm never over leveraged in the begin with, I already know that and I'll probably put some money on this that once it get here, it's gonna shoot quickly. It's gonna go swiftly. Okay. So so
So I just got like 2 more cents to add, and maybe it'll help
add you,
Naima.
add you a few little dollars.
Okay, yeah. So I completely understand what you're saying. Just psychology wise, I don't like to take the profits on the sale, right? However, I completely agree. You find that zone, you find where it's gonna buy from, right? Like if it kept selling, it broke my structure, and I'm in a hedge. Where are we going, and where are we going to turn around, right? That's my next. That's what I'm
Mhm.
asking myself. So
Yeah.
you kind of already marked that up, right? And you kind of marked up what we want to see, right? We want to see the reaction. We want to see the pullback. We want to get in for the buy down
Hmm.
here at the bottom.
Hmm.
And then sometimes, so this is more for Naima, just there's a lot of different ways you can hedge. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go ahead and set that buy limit. I'll set that next sell stop at, the low, the 30, that green line,
Hmm.
right? So now that's basically like a second trade. You have to calculate it that way. So
Yeah.
you don't get over leveraged or margin called or whatever. So you use what's remaining as far as your margin or your remaining equity to do your $1 per $100 or whatever and get your new lot size. I think that goes back to Elfie's question. Get your new lot size, create your second trade, right? You're still in the hedge, the buy and the sell, but now you're looking for a buy limit or whatever. You're trying to get in for the buy. You get in for the buy, it starts to go in profit. If I'm watching it, then maybe when my sale starts to dwindle down to pennies, I might close it before it goes in drawdown. Or Trade Locker now has that new break even feature. You can build in the fee and it'll cover the fee. And so now you actually break even on that sell position. And now, yes, it's just like Kim described, you have the two buys, the one at the bottom and then the one that was in drawdown and had went into the hedge.
Yep.
And then you take them to your original TP or whatever, and you take your profits and you get out. Before the break even feature, I would just set a stop loss on my sell at entry and just close out. I don't like for that one to go in drawdown if I can help it. If I can't, I'll just let that hedge stay, the buy, the original buy, the sell, leave them alone. Take the TP off, take the stop loss off, and use that really low buy, the one at the very bottom,
Right
and
here.
just take it take it so far
So I
that
follow.
you don't even recognize that you were still in that hedge.
So
So
question.
it's like two ways to hedge that I just described.
So Kim and
I
Kenny, I
have a
follow. This is great.
question.
I just quick question. And this goes to your survey, Kim, about kind of what keeps you up at night with struggles with trading. Is
Hmm.
that how far are you zooming out to find out what the basement is? That's what we talk about with entry and reentry and
Oh,
exits. And I saw you use 2 months, but some people I've seen use other time frames to figure out what that bottom is. And so you talked about market structure too as well. So I just with this whole thing, you zoomed out to 2 months. I think King looked at 2 months. You looked at a week.
so
Where's the bottom? Like that's what I'm trying to
so
figure out. Like
so
how do you figure determine it out?
I don't trade 2 months. I don't trade. I'm my highest time frame that I look at. I might look at the monthly. It all depends on if I don't see what I need to see on the weekly or the daily, right? But if I'm looking at this right here, this was the last 2 month candle. I see that there's an order block right here. I see that this right here, I'm always going to mark up my break of structure. I'm going to mark up my swing low and I'm going to mark up my swing high. This is on a 2 month. This is the same. I do this on the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minute. I do the same exact thing. I mark up my break of structure because right now I can see prices bullish, right? For since 2021, price has been going up. So I'm looking at my structure, and within that structure, there's the external structure, which is this move here, and then within here there is structure, right? There's the internal structure. So if I go down to my monthly and I have my zones marked up already, then I'm looking at price came here. This was the zone that broke structure. Now on the 2 month, it was a bullish order block. Like I'm always trading order blocks. So on the 2 month, it's the order block. So my thought would be price is going to come since there's no imbalance, or I mark up from the body to the end of the wick. Okay. My thought would be once this happened, price is probably going to sell down to this zone and react in some kind of way. So once I go down in time frame, I'm expecting price to come here and react in some kind of way. So now that I go to the weekly, I have a bullish order block. So I'm expecting price to come here and react in some kind of way. Now, it may just go up. So based on this weekly, it may go up to here, which is 266 pips, or it may go up to here, which is 400 to this order block for 406 pips. And then it may just come back down because based on structure, on the weekly structure, this is the structure right here. So once this taps into here, I'm expecting it to pull back to based on structure. And I don't necessarily need to use the fib, but I'm looking for it to come back to the 78 to either continue selling down or to break above these highs, pull back, and then start buying up to the upside. Does that make sense? I hate scribbling all over.
You had me at 200 pips, so I mean, I'll be out of that by the time it does all that.
And
I
because
have a question, please.
so that is and that's because this is initially, and I'm just gonna hold on, Andrew. I'm gonna get you. So initially, this was a break that has not come back to retest this zone. So it can come back and retest this zone. It can come back and tap into this weekly order block. And like I said, it could continue selling. It could continue selling because this is your swing low. So technically, based on structure on the 2 month, this is your 78.88. And I'm just going to fib it just to show it's going to be your 78.88 because this is the demand zone that I would be looking for price to come back to. So you had this push down, you had this push up. You have this push down, you can get this push up. You can get another push down to here, and then price can take off to these highs. Does that make sense?
It makes sense that I'm going to be in a UCAD buy next week. That's what it looks like.
So wait, and I will say wait for confirmation. And like I said, even if it's just from here, wherever that may be, to here, because I'm on the weekly. So so it's gonna come to here, it's gonna slow down, it's gonna probably whack off, it's gonna do all the things, right? And from here to here is 271 pips.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what my question was. Like, what was going to be your low that you were going to use as your because you got several other lows behind there, and that's why I was wondering like what your zoom out would be. But okay, you kind of answered it.
Yep. So just if you just identify your structure, then on the higher time frame, whether you use the 2 month or whether you use the monthly, it's all going to be the structure is going to be the structure. The structure is going to be the same. And but then you have these internal moves on the inside. So like when price broke here and then came and sold back down to here, it pulled back and then started selling. So I know that wasn't the 78. And so I I would have never gotten this trade right here. But it pulled back to the 50%, 618, and then sold down to your negative 27, the negative 618. And once it hit the negative 618, it pulled back a little bit, but there was no structure here to look for a buy. For me, there would have been no structure to look for a buy. And it pulled into that imbalance that most people trade from, and then sold down. So now it's the same thing. Like price is low, so you want to wait for it to get to, and it's in an imbalance. If you trade imbalance, but I would be looking for price to pull back to a demand zone. And although I'm marking up this here, when I go down in time frame, I can narrow that zone down. And what I mean by that is when I go to the daily, I look for the last institutional candle. When I go to the 1 hour, I'm narrowing my zone down. Like you don't want to take a trade from the daily. So I mean you can if you want to, but as you can see, like there's a zone here and there's a zone here. Like this would be, I'm narrowing that zone down so that your stop loss or your hedge, if you're going to set it, will be smaller and smaller. It will get smaller and smaller. So then you're able to use like 73 pips is too much for me for a currency pair. So maybe price is coming down to here, right? There's an order block, there's an imbalance and an order block there. So price could come down to this zone right here, and then so now you're narrowing your stop loss slash hedge to about 30 pips. And then once price got to that zone, do I have an alert there? I don't know if I have an alert there. So once price got to this zone, if like I said, I would just take my profit, right? But we already know that once price comes into the zone, it's going to keep coming until it hits, until it mitigates what it needs to mitigate. Like right here, there is trend line liquidity. So my guess is price is coming to 34492 before it starts to turn around. So would I put my TP at 34500? I could do that. I mean, I don't trade quarter levels, but 34500 it sounds like a good number to me. If Terry was on here, he would say yes, I'm sure. And then
No, that's not.
huh? Oh, hey Terry.
It's actually not.
Oh,
Hey,
that's not, see, that's why I don't trade quarter levels. Wait a minute, what's the quarter level for here?
hold on. Let me look at it. Do it up, up.
What's the discount? It was
Now
34,500.
that's 34. 34. Will be 500. Let me see. I can't see.
35, 35, 35 is the quarter level. 35,
Yeah,
5
31.355.
is the quarter level.
Yeah.
So the discount would be 1345.
Yeah, but that ain't
You know what I'm
that ain't a
talking
deep
about?
enough discount.
I looked up.
You wanted to be 3-4. That would be a good discount. That's a decent discount, but 3-4 is the discount you're supposed to look for.
Oh, well, if it comes to go to all the way down to 3-4, then
That's a hell of a discount.
no, I don't think it's going down there.
But 345, that's a 50-50 discount, so you can't beat that. Yeah. So I agree. I'm
Thank,
sorry. I'm going
thank,
on and agree with you.
thank you, sir. Thank you. So once price got down there, and like I said, if you wait for if you're going to wait for confirmation to get out of that hedge, you would wait for price. Price will be coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. And then it's going to give you a change of internal change of character. It's going to pull back. That's where you can close your head. This is where I would close my hedge and also put in an entry for the buy. That's my thoughts on the CAD. Now, I will say, let me go back to the daily because right now price is in it's in a little imbalance over here. There's another imbalance a little below. So, and I'm gonna just mark it up for the sake of discussion. For the sake of discussion. Okay, there's an imbalance here. Okay, there is a daily imbalance. There's another one, little one below that. There's an imbalance here. Okay. And then there's an imbalance here. Now, like I said, there is the daily institutional candle or demand zone. I call it the demand zone that's in alignment with this last imbalance over here. So price could pull back from here. Price could start pulling back from here, but based on market structure, it still could pull back and then sell a little more before um, buying to the upside. So if Kenya's in her hedge still, when she gets to what zone is this? When she get to 35448, somewhere between 35448 and 35061. So 3500, which is Terry's quarter level. 35, well, it's almost 3500, but yes, 3500, right? So it may come here, push up, push back down to the zone, and then take off. So once price pushes back up into here, she can either cut her hedge at the entry or she can, I would say cut it at entry. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because that's what I would have done. But because I know price is pulling up and going to probably sell back down based off of market structure. So Kenya will probably start seeing the return of her hedge around this point right here.
Yeah, it's looking like a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. Andrew, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Yeah. Because I've never, hedged any of my trades or trade hedged before.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is that, like, for the people who hedge, I mean, you've hedged before, or you still do, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because you don't want to take a loss, or
And
what is the
that's that's
main?
that's the sole purpose.
So you don't want
That's the
you don't
sole
want to
purpose.
miss any trade.
I mean, that's the best way to not lose a trade ever.
Okay, but does it actually teach you anything? I mean, not you. I mean, I'm talking about the people who still hedge, because taking a loss, basically, you have to learn from that loss, right?
I
So I
agree.
don't know if it teaches you like the reason why you lose the trade, or you just want to keep hedging or thing. I still don't get it.
So I
So,
I
oh,
strongly believe that if you don't know market structure, that you should not hedge. I believe that if you were trading a prop firm, you should not hedge. If you don't know market structure, you should not hedge. If you can't come to this chart and see that price is probably going to come here before the hedge turns around, you should not hedge.
And Kim, that's exactly what I was about to say. The people who hedge, if you don't know market structure, you're gonna blow your account anyway.
Exactly.
You're gonna blow it anyway. You're trying to hedge and you don't know market structure, just forget it. Take the loss, put a stop loss.
Yes. Because you're going to keep seeing it selling and you're going to keep trying to get in a buy. You're going to keep seeing it selling and you're going to keep trying to get in a buy without even looking to the left to understand structure to see where your hedge may end up. So if you tell me you know market structure, but you are margin calling your account, then you don't know market structure.
Can I share my chart, please?
Give me just a minute. Hold on. Um, Give me just a minute, Naima. Hold on, I forgot.
Sorry, I didn't know you were still. My apologies.
Um, Shush up, new off. Uh, yeah, let me just say, hedging is not for the weak, okay? It is not for the weak. If you don't,
Trading is not for the weak. No,
if
not
if you don't know what you, and let me say this, if you have a small account, I
Mm.
advise you to set a stop loss.
So, do you uh, advise people to be hedging, or from your own perspective,
It all depends. Like if they have a small account, I advise you to set a stop loss. If you have a large enough account,
Mm-hmm.
and I say this to Todd all the time, like trust me, y'all. I text the things I text Todd. I, I just I have to say it to him. I have to say it because it wouldn't be right if I didn't say it, right? But hedging on a small account is not a great thing for me. One,
I
if
completely
you're
agree.
if you are a beginner, like Andrew just said, if you don't take the loss, you don't get a lesson. You don't get the lesson. If you're hedging and you see that you're down in both of your entries are in the red, but yet you're trying to get in another trade and then another trade and then another
It
trade.
just fucked your psychology, like
It
everything is
messes
fucked.
up your psychology bad.
$5.
Huh?
But regarding this USD card, when she was talking about the 2 months and like the weekly, for me, I was just looking at something, right? I can clearly see that she didn't even look at this market structure. There is no need for you to look for a buy around here or something. Or till market hits this level before you can start thinking about buy. So again, I don't know how you approach your trade, if you are fibbing like the weekly something you want to pull back or something. I don't know, but the only like mistake I see from this trade, like your buy is like, why did you take a buy around this level? Because clearly your area is around this level where you should be looking to take a buy from.
So, Andrew, I don't know if you joined the call late, but that question came up earlier and I explained why I was looking for the buy, and we all agreed that it wasn't proper market structure in the nutshell, because the market showed that it was going to continue to sell. Um so yeah, I don't know that it's necessary to revisit why it was a buy as much as we explained from the beginning why I took my buy and then why I ended up in my hedge and why we're going to buy from lower.
Yeah. So the key, and with like I say all the time, the key is market structure. So with that being said, smaller accounts, definitely I say use a stop loss, because when you're in a hedge, which means you have two entries already. If you have two entries, you might have two, three, four, five, six, seven entries already. But if you're in a hedge, you are going to have to wait and play that hedge out until it's played out. You're going to have to wait until the one of the two trades play out for a small account. If you're a beginner, you definitely going to have to wait. If you are in a hedge with a small account, but you know market structure, then you could go in with the okay, price broke structure, then let me go in for a sell. So now you have your hedge in profit, and then you have a sell position in profit until you get to this zone. Now, you definitely want to take profit if you're in a sell position, not your hedge. Or me personally, I'm taking the profit. I'm taking the profit and I'm running. Okay. So if I see that price is selling and then it pulled back, and I'm going to mark up, let me take all this out. Hold on, let me take all of this off. So I'm going to mark up this right here because I think this is almost around the point where it was this candle, yeah, because she mentioned that price did not close below here, right? So I'm going to mark up this wick, and then I'm going to go down to the 1 hour or the 4 hour. Or was I on the daily? Yeah, that's it. Okay. So once this happened and didn't close, and like I said, we've already pretty much talked about it, because you know there's an imbalance right here. And I don't trade imbalances, but I know everyone who trades with Tide does, right? There's an imbalance here that it did tap into, but it didn't go to uh what they call it, the middle of that zone.
Because it creates encroachment.
Yeah, that. So I mean, personally, I just would not have been looking for a buy, right? But it did tap into the imbalance and then started selling again. So if I saw this right here and I got in, so my buy is in, the hedge picked up, right? Once I saw this bearish order block, you could have put in another hedge. I mean, not another hedge. I'm sorry. Another entry for the sell. So your hedge would be selling, and then your sell would be selling. Okay. And that's 180 pip sell. That's 180 pip sell to the downside, plus your hedge that's going in. So you'll have you have three entries in, two that should be in profit. Again, I'm taking my money where I'm going to take my money. I'm gonna take it. I'm taking it. And this should cover, that should definitely cover for the loss that you're in of this buy, if that makes sense.
100% Cam. I always take my money. I don't never let it sit when I'm in a hedge. But
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents. As
Take
soon as I break even and I'm not in profit, I cut my losses. I don't even try to be greedy.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. But I agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah, that's the only way I'm hedging. Cause I'm not taking profit. I will add another position or, buy the retracement back. But yeah,
But you
I
have
like
to
that.
you have to wait until the hedge plays out.
Yeah.
Can't keep adding unless you understand market structure, unless you know what you're doing. You can't keep adding because then that's going to over leverage your account. And then once price gets to a zone, once you identify the structure, once price gets to your imbalance or somewhere in your demand zone or supply zone, and if you're watching the charts, you can then go down in a lower time frame and look for the change of character and then set your TP for your hedges at that. Once the change of character happens, you can take it then, or however you want to do it. It's up to you. And then wait for the change of character, set your entry for the buy, and then set your buy entry for the buyout. So if you take profit on these two, your P&L should be your um you should be able to cover the margin for this loss of this buy that was here. So, any questions on that? Naima, did that answer your question about hedging?
Yes, ma'am. I just don't need to do it.
Look,
For me,
I
I
always
just
say the
because I don't think I could hedge US 30. I would not have an account. I don't think.
well, yeah, yeah. Stick, stick,
I just
stick to stop loss. Stick to the
Do it.
stop.
Don't do
but
it.
I mean, yeah.
And
But I
like,
appreciate explaining it because I was confused. I was confused because I was like, well, is your hedge now your SL? But it's cool. I get it. I just get that I don't need to do it. But people who are successful, that's just I can't.
yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not there yet, I guess. I don't know.
It could save your account, but again, you have to know what you're doing. And let me tell you, for a long time, I did not hedge because it was too strong. Like I felt like I had to watch the charts all day. And if y'all know me, y'all know I hate being on the charts. I'm gonna set an alert. I'm gonna set an alert, and once that alert goes off, then I'll go looking and see what's going on. Otherwise, I'm asleep or working. So one of the two. So any other questions on hedging US CAD? Is there a pair that anybody want to look at?
Yes, I want to look at US 30 and NAS. Can I share my chart?
Sure.
I'm a little shaky on my mark. Well, yeah, for Nas, I'm a little shaky on it, but that's why I just want to get some feedback.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys see it? Yes. I know you guys usually start with the weekly, so price broke above this. I'm looking for sales down into, here you go. Okay, this is what I'm looking at right now.
Mhm.
So I I on a higher time frame, all of this is just liquidity to me. And so price finally, well, trend line liquidity. So price finally broke that, and I'm looking for it to sell down to this bullish order block. That's my fault. I did not mean to say bearish. Um, which I think is last week's. Yeah, I took off all of the.
So where did you get in?
Let me see. Ma'am?
Where did you get in the trade?
No, no, I didn't get in anything yet. I mean, I got in the sales last week, but I'm on futures, so I had to close. But
Uh,
I'm saying like this is what I'm looking to happen. Either price is it's gonna eventually buy from here. I'm
mhm.
sorry, I didn't put any.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to. Mm-mm.
I don't have to do this. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
these are my zones. So I'm looking for price to eventually buy here, right?
Mhm.
But of course, that's like 6,000, over 6,000 pips. So what I am looking for is, you see this accumulation here?
Mhm.
I'm looking for the market to trap buyers and for price to come into one of these zones. I'm not sure. Now, the reason why I'm a little like hesitant about this is because I went to Nas, and I know that they have their different character, like each instrument has its different characteristics, but sometimes they can have like it could be divergent. And so with Nas, price came and like swept London and went all the way up here. So I'm wondering if US 30 will do the same. It looked like it respected it.
You can
So
you
if I was just looking at,
can you zoom
ma'am,
can you zoom in a little bit? So not zoom out a little bit. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Or go
oh,
to the
you want to see it on a like this?
so based on market structure, what do you see from here?
Mm, I see that price is gonna sell, but I think it's gonna
No,
buy up from.
based on current market, that 4 hour market structure, what do you see?
Mm, that I don't know. I don't know if this is a
No,
trick question.
no, it's not a trick question. Market structure. So based on market structure, price closed below this low.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna
So
buy up first.
so this is the swing high. This
Uh-huh.
is your swing low.
Hmm.
So price is going to pull back somewhere, I don't know where, but and then starts to sell. Price could pull all the way back up to these highs here and then
That's
sell.
what I was saying. That's what, okay, so you see this line right here? This is where stuff gets really interesting for me, because when I have multiple entries, then I don't know what to do. So like I had this line here because I was like price could buy up here, or it could clear this, go to this. I think I fib this. This is like the golden zone. I forgot what time frame, or it could hit these relative equal highs. So
Mhm.
that's why I really wanted to. I'm sorry. I probably should mark this a lot better. I had this here because I was anticipating for price to buy up here and then sell, right? Or to blow all of this and then come in, sell from these relative equal highs.
Mhm.
But I don't. But the overall bias that I have is that price is going to come and sweep this, and
And
it's going to come down here.
it is, and unless there's some news that a wick is going to come and sweep everything,
Hmm.
it's going to give you market structure in between those zones. So it will create structure. How far
Hmm.
this go, we don't know. It's going to pull back, it's going to create structure. It's going to pull back, it's going to create structure. So until it comes here and changes character based off of market structure, you have to trade the current market structure, which is that 4 hour market structure. So you either have to trade from the low. So if you marked up this here and then this came and gave you some kind of structure, swept, change of character, then you can buy it back up to, I would say, mark up the 618, 78, 88. Then you can buy
Mhm.
it back up to one of those premium zones and then expect another sell. That's
Mhm.
the expectation based off of what we see, right? We trade what we see and not what we think. So once you see a shift in structure, then you can buy it up too, but you got to remember that you got to buy that you're buying up into this zone right here. So you either take your profits at the 618, 78, whichever one you prefer, just to know
Mhm.
that it's probably going to turn around and start selling and break another low. And then this will be your swing high. Wherever this goes, that will be your swing low. Then you know that price is probably going to come. Now, I don't look at sweep of a low, sweep of high. Like I don't look at that. Like it's that's I just need to know the basics. Okay? Like I keep it
Mhm.
simple. I keep it simple. So I just know once price breaks a low, I mark up my swing high, I mark up my swing low, and then once I see structure form, if I don't see structure forming, and my structure forming is different from Todd's structure forming, okay? But once I see the structure forming, I can then do that counter trend trade, or I can just wait for price to come back to the premium zone to then sell and back
Okay.
into my zone. And then once price is in this zone, then again, I'm looking for structure to form. And then I'm looking for a shift in that structure to then pull back and then start buying to the highs, taking out the highs. Does that make
Okay. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for your feedback. Yeah. Because I'll watch you guys and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy into this sell or sell into this buy. And a lot of times I personally will get clapped because like my entries will like be off or then I'll start over trading. But to see how you did that, I could see how I could take advantage of the buys before the sells. So I'll be looking for that. Um, yeah. Okay, so can I show you my nods?
sure?
Okay. So, okay, well, before I move on, is there anything that you would say that, like, besides that 4 hour, is there anything else on here that, like, looks off or, like, anything that I need to
Mhm.
work on?
No. What's on your 1 hour? Because that's pretty much where I watch the chart. Look at the chart. And
So
then
that's where I was looking for a price to come in and sell. Like, so that right there, I didn't show this because yeah, I was like, I don't know if it's going to hit these relative equal highs or if it's going to pull back into this area. So I usually just wait to for it to get to where I'm looking at, right?
so
For the my
based on this 1 hour, and then you can
hmm
also I'm again, this was the break of structure, right? This was
hmm
the swing high. This is my supply zone,
Yes,
right?
sir, ma'am.
This one candle right here.
hmm
So I would go down to the 15 minute
Okay.
because I'm narrowing my zones. So you either have the supply zone here. I'm just gonna mark up this whole candle. This one here or this one here. So me personally, I would wait for price because I'm sure right here it's probably the 78, right here it's probably the 88. If it that 78 or the 88 don't fall in that zone, then I know that price is probably going to drop some more. So I wouldn't be looking for a buy just because there's a bullish order block right here. Price, and again, price, there's a whole imbalance here. there's an imbalance here, there's an order block right here. So me personally, because price is bearish, I'm going to wait for price to come to my zone and then take the trade.
Okay. And that's what I usually, well, sometimes I have, not sometimes, I have an issue with over trading. So I've had to just, like, hear some people say, I'm going to trade into this zone and trade into that zone. And to help me to not overtrade, I have to just wait until it gets to that spot.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of times, like, I'll miss entries. So you see how you have like three different areas? Because can you see my my mouse or my cursor move?
Mm-hmm.
So this was number one, right? And then this was number two, and then you pointed out some other ones. So in a situation where you have like three areas, because this has happened to me before, what do you do in order? Do you just wait, or you just have to just take a shot at it? Because that's what,
I'm
huh?
either going to set a limit or I am going to and make sure that my hedge or make sure my lot size is sufficient enough or small enough, because if price pulls, for me, I don't do 50%. I don't do 50% 618. If it comes to 50% 618, then I'm gonna miss the trade. And I'm okay with missing the trade. Um, um, or I'm gonna set an alert and wait for price to get in the zone, identify my lower time frame market structure, and then once I get a shift in structure, then I'm going to look for the supply zone here and set a limit and then sell it down to the wherever the low is, wherever the lows are.
Okay. Okay.
So you can do one or two, set a limit or set an alert.
Okay.
And like I say, if it doesn't come back, so if it comes back to this zone and starts selling, then you have a new level of structure. So then you mark up that swing high, that break of structure, that swing low, mark up your supply zone, and then, like I said, I'm setting a limit. So and let it play out.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I appreciate your assistance.
You're welcome.
Um, can I show you
Yep, go ahead.
my US 100? This one's a little not all that. I guess it's kind of the same thing a little bit. Yeah. I guess I could just apply what you told me to.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
based on structure,
I,
right? This internal structure, price broke.
mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I
Price-
didn't mean to do that.
Go
Where do you
back
want me to
to
go?
whatever time frame you was just on.
This one?
Mm-hmm. Price
Okay.
price broke structure. This is on 4 hour supply zone. Just because there's a bearish order block doesn't mean price will not go up. Price would have to break this low in order for me to think that price is no longer bullish, going bullish right now. Because right, we had 4, 8, 12 hours of bullish candle. It pulled back. So price could this could just be a pullback because it did pull back to this demand zone. So price
Mm-hmm.
could be pushing back into the zone, right? And then give you some kind of structure to then sell back down to these lows.
Okay.
So I personally, I mean, like I said, it did wick the 4 hour supply zone, right? But that could have just been a pullback for a continuation of a buy to then sell.
Got you. I really wasn't feeling that 4 hour or block. Like you said, it didn't break structure. I'm really looking for price to come and sweep this liquidity right here. If I go to the lower time frame, that's really what I'm looking at. But like you were saying with US 30,
And
I probably should.
as you can see, based on this 15-minute structure, this is 15-minute structure right here. Price
Mhm.
has not closed below that low.
Okay. Okay.
So you could get, this could be the start of the push back to the upside because you're in a 15-minute structure.
Got you. Okay.
Okay.
Do you trade US 30 sometimes?
I do.
Okay. Maybe I'll send you my chart. If that's okay. Like if I see something in the week.
Sure.
If you're okay with that. I'm just always looking for like feedback, so fine.
Yeah, you can
All
drop it.
right.
If you drop it in the, I say drop it in the chat, in the chart, and in the group, so everybody else who's looking at it as well would know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Yeah.
everybody should be able to
I
see.
just don't want to drop anything that's wrong. I mean, I know that we all lose trades,
Don't,
but I don't want
no,
to drop it unless I know like I'm confident that okay, this is gonna play out. I
but no,
really like just saying.
I'm sure if you have the question, I'm sure out of the 800, 900 people in the group, I'm sure there are probably another percentage that has the same question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. Anything else anybody want to look at?
I have GJ.
GJ, you want to share your chart or you?
I'm on my phone. I actually shared it on the Discord, but one second, let me see. If you can go to GJ, I can just tell you what I have.
What you got going for GJ?
Basically, I have it going back up to my 78 because it was bullish this week. So I have it going up to what's it 195.0, sorry, 909, which basically just tapping into the imbalance at the top and then dropping down
The
um,
imbalance where?
at 195.908.
195.
908.
908.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
actually, that's my 78. So I'll have it going from the 78 because right now it's actually in the golden zone. So it just needs to push up to the 78 and then down
The
again.
golden zone off of what time frame?
4 hour.
And you're saying the golden zone?
Okay, so I fibbed the candle for the weekly.
Okay.
Then I dropped to the four. Well, I put the golden zone on the 78, dropped to the 4 hour.
So you fib this candle, this weekly candle here,
Let me see.
and you're saying price pulled back to the 50% 618.
Yes, right at the top of it. Yeah, so where the 50% is, that's where it's pulled. Actually, oh.
And
Actually, no, I didn't fib that candle.
which
Was
candle
that the weekly? One
you,
second.
this was last week. This was last week, not this week. This is this week.
Oh, I fibbed this week.
Oh,
Sorry, my bad.
okay. So you fibbed
This one.
down or up?
Yeah,
Okay.
down. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I put the 78, which is where I'm hoping it will drop from, which is the 90. Yeah, that's, and then the 50% and the 60%. Yeah. So if you see it, it's right at the top.
Okay.
It's
So
close to the.
my question to you is you had a weekly order block that price pulled to, pushed up. You had the next week to press down, reject, or price pulled back to the 50%, 618, almost tapped the 78 to go bullish.
Mhm.
So there may be a push down for the sell, but it's looking bullish.
Yeah. So,
And because this week did not close below the previous week, then I definitely would be looking for, like I said, you might get a pullback. So if I go to so if I'm on the 4-hour, I'm looking at this current 4-hour structure. We have a break here, we have a swing high here, and then we have a swing low here. Okay. Now, if you trade imbalances, price tapped into an imbalance and pushed up. Now, I had this conversation with a few people. Just because it broke this high, it is not the swing high because price did not break structure until right here. So everything from this low, this swing low and break a structure to this swing high is game for a continuation of a sell. So so I am expecting price to push back down to this demand zone. So if price breaks above this swing high, then then I will start looking for buys. However, I'm waiting for price to come here to give me some shift in structure. So now that I'm on the 1-hour, I'm looking at the 1-hour structure, which is here, right? So price would have to close below this low in order for me to start looking for the sells. But currently, price pulled back into an order block, right? And it's going to keep buying. So, well, is buying. Let me just say that. Now, I do not, although I don't trade imbalances, I do recognize there's a huge imbalance right here. So price could then come and break structure here out of this imbalance. And then I'm going to, once price breaks this low, then I'm going to look for price to pull back to my supply zone to then sell it down to where I think price is going to start buying.
yeah, I think that's where I've got it going down to. But a little higher.
But I definitely need to see a break of this low first. Until then, it's buying for me. So if it comes up here and gives a double top and then breaks, then I'm looking for the pullback to sell down to this 193,594.
I agree. Can I show you something?
Sure.
Can you squeeze your chart? Just squeeze it. Yeah, that's it. Just hold on there. Can I write on the screen? I can't.
Yep.
Okay, one second. Just want to show you something. Okay, ready. One second. Here. Sorry. One second. Erase. Sorry. Wrong. Yeah. You see that?
What?
Can you see that?
Yeah.
I didn't draw it straight enough, but basically what I'm seeing.
So were you talking about this right here?
Yeah. So what I'm no higher.
Higher? Higher?
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Stop. Right. What I'm seeing is it broke the trend line, and this pullback here is a retest
Mm-hmm.
before it actually drops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. It's
So
just
it has tapped into the 78,
mhm.
and I was actually in at the 78, and then I just got out because I wanted to close at market. I wanted to take my money at market close.
Yeah, I did that. I did that too. I did that.
So it tapped to 78, almost to 88. I think it might have, no, it didn't touch the 88. So price could come back here and give a double top.
Hmm.
Price could come back here and then start selling again.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Ma,
But did you say, Ma? Yes,
oh
yes, Andrew.
no, my mom was talking to me.
Oh,
Anyway, for me, right? GJ is buying, but whatever trend line you guys are marking or something, I don't know. I'll be
yeah,
watching GJ
I
for.
don't know. GJ currently selling. Well, it's buying right now, but I do think it's going to start selling next week
Okay. Oh.
based off market structure. And that's the only,
From
like
what
I
time
said,
frame?
like I said, it can come up here and give this double top right here because this is the high. This is the swing high right here. And I trade from my edges. I trade from my swing highs. I trade from my swing lows. Um, so price could push up into this. Price could push up to here.
Oh, wait, hold on. You want price to come here? This green line?
I don't want. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm expecting price to come down there.
Oh, okay. What? You are not any of this trade anymore anyway, so you're just going to give us chance to make the money to the upside.
Say what?
I say you are not buying or selling right now. You are out from your trade, right?
Yeah, I'm out of my trade right now.
So we are the one buying right now. So we are holding.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the only reason I wasn't in the buy is because I don't see this as structure. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I was concerned,
Mm-hmm.
price could have come back to this zone and started selling, right?
So we
So I did not get in for the buy because there was no clear structure for me.
there was no reason for this price to buy from there, right? From here.
I'm not saying there was no reason to. No, there was plenty of reason. On the 4 hour, there was an imbalance that price
Mm-hmm.
tapped into, but there was no structure for me to take the buy.
Even on a higher time frame,
I'm
this
telling
entry I took was from a higher time frame, not even like this 4 hour daily or something. Because
Andrew. I'm talking about me, okay? I don't understand Andrew's trading strategy, okay? Now,
I get it.
I definitely could have once this order block.
But what about this one right here? After market have reacted from this level.
What I'm telling you is
Mm-hmm.
for me, that is not enough structure to buy when I think it was just buying up to here. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. And it's okay. I'm okay with it. I don't get FOMO. Okay? I do not
Mm-hmm.
get FOMO. So if I don't get it, I don't get it. What I know is I'm waiting for price to come up to my zone, give me a shift in structure, and then I'm going to sell it down to the zone. As long
It's
as it does
probably if you
not
are
close,
selling because I
long as
want to
it does
sell.
not close above this high.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me know because I'm not looking at GJ every day.
No,
So
I'm not telling you nothing. Nothing.
if you want to sell, let me know, please.
Nothing. Ah,
Him.
I'm supposed to trade. Yes.
I love it. I just love listening to y'all. But so how do he seemed like he knows so much. Oh my goodness. But what's his trading like? How did he trade?
Girl, you're gonna have to ask Andrew because I don't be understanding Andrew's. Andrew is
I train like
Andrew.
everybody else here.
No,
So
he doesn't. Andrew is an advanced trader. I'll just say that. And Andrew, and I say the same thing to Ty. I tell Ty all the time that because when you're passionate about trading,
Mm.
you just go on it. You just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay. That is Andrew. You can't get the word in edgewise. Okay. But Andrew is an advanced trader and he teaches advanced trading. So
Oh.
now I like to think that I'm just a baby advanced trader. Okay. I like to keep it simple. Just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just need
Yes.
swing high, swing low, break a structure, and look for my 78 or 88. That is when I say that's my trading plan, that's all I got. That's all I got
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Yep.
So,
As long as it's working, what is
and
we talking about?
exactly. Exactly. So
correct.
Andrew used to teach on Wednesdays, but Andrew said Andrew was done. Done. Andrew said, I'm done
I
teaching.
was so tired.
Um, but he will come on here and spill it out. And who said what's FOMO? Who was that a serious question? Oh, Kenya answered it.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So fear of missing out. If like when this is buying up, I don't care. Look, I don't care. And yes, if I was, let me tell you, if price and I like to explain what I like to see so people will understand. If price closed here and then broke above, that is structure to me. Like I need to see the a break of structure and then I need to see a market structure shift. So if that had happened for me, this definitely would have been my entry for the buy. So that is why I did not get in. That's when I say it didn't create structure for me. That is what I'm talking about. And even on the 15-minute, it didn't break below this low. I just need to see a break and then I need to see a shift before I get in for a buy or a sell. That's structure to me. But because it didn't, I'm like, okay, so this might go up to here and then start selling back down. Like it wouldn't have been worth it for me to have to sit on this chart to make sure price was going to go up to this zone and not turn around. Or I mean, I definitely could have set. Now, that's another thing we want. Let's talk about. Let's talk about it while we're here. Setting your TPs. Because we talk about setting stop losses, which we know most people don't do. So if you don't set your stop loss, you don't set a hedge, what you waiting on? What's your plan? What's the plan? If you don't set a stop loss, you don't set a hedge, what's the plan? What's your plan? Let me ask that. Nobody? Ain't got nothing. Nobody ain't got nothing. Nothing.
I mean, my head is already set when I get into my position.
Huh?
My head is already set when I get in my position.
No. I say if you don't set a stop loss and you don't set
Oh,
a hedge, what is your plan? Just like with raw dog. Exactly. Exactly. That's
I set
exactly.
TPs or I set alerts for the TP so I can have a look.
But if you don't set a stop loss or a hedge, what's your plan?
No, I hedge.
Okay. For those who don't set a stop loss or a hedge, what's your plan? I know it's some of you out there. Fess up. Y'all saw the sign, y'all saw the note in the beginning. I'm about to get all up in your business. Okay? So, what's your plan? I'll wait.
The
Don't
plan is to have an alert there and watch it.
So instead of setting a stop loss ahead, you set an alert and then you watch it. So then do you get out of the trade
Yes.
if it's not going your way?
Yes.
Okay. Scott Sana.
But usually too late.
Just don't let the count just don't blow the account. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes. Hi, Marcia.
Y'all don't y'all don't use stop losses on your trades? Oh,
Like can you say it? Some of these people out here raw dogging it, child. They raw dog. They raw dog. That's so funny to me.
mm.
Yep. And they will let it go and go and go and go. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been there before. I've been there. I've been there. Okay.
I feel a little attack. I feel a little attack.
And look, if the shoe fit, then your feelings are hurt. Ah. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I wasn't talking about you, but since since you fessed up, there ain't no going back. Protect your capital.
Well, the reason why I wasn't setting because in the past,
Mm-hmm.
my stop loss would get hit, and then the damn thing goes exactly how I expected it to go.
But that's
So,
because you were not.
and I was setting too tight a stop loss sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, that was your problem, and you wasn't identifying market structure like you should.
proper mark. Yeah, I wasn't identifying proper mark stuff. I was
Yes,
off. Hopefully, I think I got it.
I
Thanks
think
for
you
you.
got it. I think you got it.
Yeah, because time can't be passing me up.
Okay.
Okay, for real.
I hear my name.
Yep,
Yeah, you heard your name. You know you heard your name. I can't stand you to pass me up.
you
I
know
can't
he
live
had
it
to,
down just yet.
he had to throw you in there. All right. Any other pair anybody want to see before we call it a day? Or any other questions about anything else? How many people from the beginners classes on here?
I was going to say something. I
Yes.
am.
Yeah.
Who's teaching to so who will be teaching beginners? I know it's tomorrow, 11. Is it you or is it
I think Todd is going to be there tomorrow.
okay?
Um, I have something to do tomorrow, but after I'm done, I'll probably join. Um,
Okay.
but I think Todd is going to be on the call tomorrow. If
Oh,
n-
okay.
if he's not, then I may just move it to a later time tomorrow, and then I'll do it later once I get home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all get to have Todd tomorrow so far, as of now.
Okay.
And what you think about GU? You look at that one?
GU.
we been wanting to sell this for a while now.
Y'all selling GU?
Not yet. I'm looking at it to sell soon. I
Um,
will pull up my chart, but I'm driving.
so based on structure, I'm gonna go to the 4-hour structure. So price went up right here, didn't close, and then price finally broke structure here. So the internal structure, there was a break here. Let me go to the 1 hour. So there was an internal break here. It came down, created double bottom. So once I get this internal break, I'm looking for price to come up to supply zone. And that's what it looked like it's doing. Just
Yeah.
push up,
Wonderful, wonderful.
back.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I had to.
And then of course I need to see it. Well, you can set this as your limit, right? Once it breaks another internal zone,
breaks.
then you can set another limit and then you can at least take it to this low for now. Would you say,
I
Andrew?
said you need to see that market maker cycle.
Huh?
The
No.
market maker
Oh,
cycle.
I
Yeah.
do trade market maker cycle, but I didn't even look at that. I'm just looking at current, like what it's doing right now. There was a shift in structure. There's a supply zone. That's where I'm looking. That's where I would be looking to sell it from to these lows. That's 196 pips. I'll take 96. But then there's also a demand zone right here. I would take the 115. But for sure, I'm going to the low and I'm taking my money and then I'll get in again if it shows me something different. So
You wouldn't swing it down to You wouldn't swing it down to the institutional candle.
that was the institutional candle right here, the demand zone.
What I'll send you. What is the hour?
Huh?
Versus the hour time frame, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I meant from the daily.
From the daily. Which one right here?
Yeah.
Heck no. Because then it would have to break this low first. This was
Well,
the break of structure. It would have to break this low, pull back for me to then sell it down to,
but I'm open for.
yeah, yeah, that would be a no for me. And it could sell down to this low, right? Based on market structure, but it's probably going to come here. It's probably going to create some form of structure, pull back because now it has broken internal structure, right? And then you would be looking for the supply zone from there to then sell it back down to there. Like it's got to do, I would have to see it. I would have to see that first before. So right now it would have to break this low, pull back, and then sell down to there.
Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome. But as of right now, I can only take it to this low, pretty much this demand zone. Anything else anybody want to see?
I would just like to see gold, please.
Sure. Maybe I'll have to wait. So the first thing I see for gold based on the week is that it closed above. I'll go to the daily. If I look for daily structure, this is my daily structure. So this is my swing low. This is my break of structure. This is my current swing high. Okay. So I'll go to the 4 hour. Nothing is given. The 1 hour, I don't see this as structure. So I don't see this pulling back as structure. I just see it as a pullback for a continuation of a high. So, but if I'm on my 1 hour and I'm identifying my structure, this is my last piece of structure right here. So that means price would have to break this low before I look for a sell. But price came up here, has pulled back. It's probably going to break this high here. So then I would make this my swing low, but it's got to break this high first. It's got to break this high first. Then I would mark this as my swing low, and I would look for price to either break that low, to pull back, and then start selling down to this low. So right now I wouldn't be doing anything with gold until it breaks my high or my low, and then I can make an assessment. So currently, what I say, this was my swing low. And this is my swing. So that's my current, this is the current range between this low and this high. So that's my thought on that. So you do have a bullish 4-hour order block. If it pulls back some more, it may pull back to this, retest this break of structure. It could pull back to here and then start buying. But that would be like I said, I don't trade. That would be like your 23 or 38, 23.6. Which means I still need to see it break this high to then pull back and continue buying. The swing high. If you mark up your swing highs, swing lows, and you trade according to those, then you should be good.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Y'all are welcome. All right, that's concludes today's psychology/weekly call. Thank you, Kenya, if you're still here.
I
Thank
am. You're
you.
welcome.
And I will see y'all in these market streets.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Kim.
Welcome.
you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.